Listen, if you're running an aquaculture operation, you know that moment when something just doesn't feel right with your stock. Maybe the fish aren't hitting the feed like they usually do, or you're seeing some odd behavior patterns. The thing is, fish and shellfish don't exactly send us a text message when they're feeling sick. They respond to disease in pretty limited ways, and honestly, a lot of the signs overlap between different conditions. That's what makes our job challenging. You might see the same symptoms from 3 completely different problems. But here's what I've learned after years in this business. Good observation skills can narrow down your diagnosis significantly. You just need to know what you're looking for and when to start worrying. Sometimes it's about catching those subtle behavioral changes before they become obvious physical symptoms. Let's talk about the signs that should immediately get your attention. First up, anorexia. When fish go off their feed, that's your canary in the coal mine. Now, don't panic if there's an obvious reason. Maybe you've got predators around, or oxygen levels dropped, or you just moved them. But if there's no environmental explanation, you need to start thinking disease. This is especially critical with bacterial infections that need oral antibiotics. You've got a narrow window to treat while they're still feeding. Next, watch their swimming behavior. Healthy fish school together, swim normally. Sick fish, they become loners. They'll hang out at the sides of your pens, gather in corners, act like they're trying to hide. If they're having gill problems, they'll head straight for your water intake points or aerators. Basically, anywhere the oxygen is highest. They're smart enough to know what they need. Loss of balance is another big one. When they can't maintain their position in the water, swimming sideways or upside down, that's usually swim bladder issues or nervous system damage. The physical signs are often easier to spot but harder to interpret. Color changes are huge. Stressed or diseased fish typically go darker due to melanin redistribution. It's a hormonal stress response. Respiratory distress is unmistakable. Increased breathing rate, operculae wide open, gasping at the surface. Could be oxygen problems, gill damage, or diseases affecting blood oxygen capacity like PKD. Now we get to the signs that mean you need to act fast. Hemorrhages, whether external from handling and trauma or internal from septicemic conditions. When you see blood, something's definitely wrong. Ascites, that's swollen belly, and exophthalmia or popeye are osmoregulatory failures. The fish can't control water balance anymore. Scale lifting that gives that pine cone appearance goes with it. Skin ulcers can start small but progress fast, especially with secondary bacterial infections. I've seen them penetrate right through to the abdominal cavity, if not caught early. Now, if you're in the shellfish game, shrimp, lobsters, crabs, you're dealing with even more limited visual cues. These guys don't exactly wear their hearts on their sleeves, if you know what I mean. But the feeding response is still your number one indicator. When those feeding trays aren't getting cleared, that's your first warning bell. Swimming behavior in shrimp is trickier to observe, especially in large turbid ponds, but diseased shrimp swim sluggishly near the surface. With some virus diseases, they'll actually hang at the surface, then roll over and sink. The good news is that lethargy makes them gather at pond edges, so you can easily collect specimens for closer examination. Color changes in crustaceans are probably your most reliable diagnostic tool. A reddening telson is common across many diseases. Each virus has its signature. White spot creates those characteristic white patches under the carapace. Yellowhead virus turns the hepatopancreas yellow. You can see it right through the shell. IMNV causes white muscle discoloration. Each pathogen has its calling card. Here's the reality. In our industry, we're dealing with animals in an environment where close observation can be challenging. With all the automation we rely on, there's a tendency to become disconnected from our stock. But good stockmanship, that trained eye, that intuitive sense when something's not right, that's irreplaceable. Technology supports us, but it doesn't replace experience and observation skills. The key is early recognition and prompt intervention. Most of these signs I've described are common to multiple diseases, but they are your starting point for narrowing down the differential diagnosis. Remember, healthy fish are profitable fish. Every day you delay recognition and response is money out of your pocket and stress on your stock. Stay vigilant, trust your instincts, and don't hesitate to get professional help when you need it. Your operation depends on it.